Room 114. The Silent Scream. A wide shot of an old crumbling hotel nestled on the outskirts of a quiet town. A thunderstorm rages outside, casting shadows across the hotel's weathered exterior. The camera zooms in on a car pulling into the parking lot, its headlights cutting through the rain. A couple, Sophie and Ethan, exit the car, their breath visible in the cold air. They glance at each other nervously, both excited and apprehensive about their weekend stay at the mysterious hotel. Ethan, smiling. "It's perfect, right? Away from everything. Just a quiet weekend to ourselves." Sophie nods, but seems uneasy. She glances at the hotel's front door, sensing something amiss. Sophie. "Yeah, but there's something about this place. It feels old." They enter the hotel, where the dim light casts long shadows across the room. The receptionist, an elderly woman with hollow eyes, greets them silently, handing them a key with the number 114 engraved on it. Receptionist, softly. "Room 114, second floor." Sophie. "Thank you." The receptionist doesn't respond, her eyes fixed on them with an unsettling gaze. The couple exchanges a glance but shrugs it off and heads upstairs. Sophie and Ethan walk down the creaky hallway, passing several unmarked rooms. As they approach room 114, the door creaks open on its own. Sophie shivers. Sophie. "Did you hear that?" Ethan. "It's just the old building settling." They enter and the room is dimly lit, its old wallpaper peeling in spots and dust floating in the air. A musty smell fills the room. There's a large antique bed with a heavy comforter, a nightstand, and an old wardrobe in the corner. The air feels cold despite the warmth of the radiator. Ethan, laughing nervously. "Well, it's definitely got character." Sophie walks towards the wardrobe and opens it, only to stop suddenly. A strange smell wafts from behind it, something faintly metallic. Sophie. "Ugh, what's that smell?" Ethan. "Probably just old pipes." "Let's unpack." They begin to settle in, but Sophie is distracted. The smell lingers. She steps closer to the wardrobe, peering behind it. Sophie, quietly. "There's something odd about this place, Ethan." Ethan doesn't respond. He's busy setting up the TV. Sophie reluctantly turns away from the wardrobe and takes a seat on the bed. Later that night, the couple is in bed. The rain continues to pour outside, the wind howling through the cracks of the old building. The camera pans to the clock on the nightstand, its ticking echoing in the silence. Sophie stirs in bed, waking to the faint sound of whispering. Sophie, whispering. "Did you hear that?" Ethan is fast asleep, unaware. The whispers grow louder, now sounding more like muffled cries. Sophie's eyes widen in fear. She sits up and looks around the room, her breath visible in the cold air. Sophie, shaking. "Ethan, wake up!" But before she can shake him, a loud bang echoes from the wardrobe. Sophie screams, her voice trembling. Ethan, groggy. "What the hell?" He turns to look at the wardrobe. The door swings open slowly, revealing nothing but darkness. The temperature drops further. Suddenly, a faint, blood-curdling scream pierces the silence, coming from the wardrobe. Sophie jumps out of bed, trembling. Sophie, "We need to get out of here, now!" Ethan, more confused than scared, follows her as she grabs her bag, but as they move towards the door, it slams shut with a deafening bang. The room grows darker, colder. The whispers turn to agonizing wails. The wardrobe begins to shake violently, and the air fills with the sound of scraping. The couple desperately tries to open the door, but it's locked. Sophie pulls at the window, but it too is stuck. The camera zooms in on her face, panic setting in. Then she hears a faint voice, soft but clear. Voice whispering, "Help me, She freezes, eyes wide with terror. The voice continues, now louder, more desperate. Voice. Help me! Behind the wardrobe! Sophie, shaking uncontrollably, turns to Ethan, her voice trembling. Sophie. There's someone's trapped in there. Ethan is visibly shaken, but he takes a deep breath and walks toward the wardrobe. With a loud creak, he pulls it aside, revealing the wall behind it. The wallpaper is torn, revealing jagged cracks in the plaster. Sophie gasps as she notices something strange, a faint outline of a body, half buried in dried cement, just beneath the surface. Ophi, whispering, "Oh my God!" Ethan pulls at the wall, breaking the plaster, revealing a horrible sight. The remains of a woman, half encased in concrete. Her eyes are wide open, her mouth frozen in a silent scream. Her body is stiff, half of her buried and corroded by time. Ethan, gasping, This is insane." The air grows colder as the camera zooms in on the woman's face. Suddenly, a faint shadow moves across the wall, and the faint whispering returns, now more menacing. Whispering, distorted. James, why did you do this?" Sophie, screaming, "No, no!" The camera flickers, the lights in the room dimming. Flashbacks of a woman's struggle come to life. Her final moments, trapped in the small dark room, her boyfriend James standing over her, an angry look in his eyes. The sound of a struggle fills the room. The woman's cries are drowned by the thudding of a hammer as James murders her in cold blood. The concrete pours over her body, sealing her fate. Narrator, VO. Room 114 had a dark history. Years ago, a woman named Lily was murdered by her boyfriend, James. In a fit of rage, he buried her body behind the wardrobe, thinking no one would ever find her. But her spirit, her vengeful spirit, would never rest. As the flashback fades, the camera returns to the present. Sophie and Ethan are visibly shaken, realizing that Lily's spirit is still trapped in the room, seeking justice for her untimely death. The door slams open, but the hallway is dark and empty. Sophie grabs Ethan's hand, pulling him toward the exit, but the room grows colder with every step. The shadows grow deeper, and the wails of the woman grow louder, almost deafening. Suddenly, a figure appears in front of them, a tall man with a twisted, angry face. It's James, his eyes wild with madness. He reaches for Sophie, but she pulls away, screaming. Sophie, screaming, "We need to leave, now!" The figure vanishes and the room begins to collapse around them. Sophie and Ethan run, finally bursting through the door into the hallway. The camera zooms out, showing the hotel in its entirety, a place where time stands still, and the spirits of the past never leave. The camera returns to the receptionist at the front desk. She watches as Sophie and Ethan leave the hotel, their faces pale with terror. The receptionist's eyes darken as she whispers under her breath. Receptionist, whispering. Room 114, it's never really empty. The screen fades to black, and the sounds of whispers and a distant scream echo as the credits roll. End.